morning. I'm Dr. Kenny Siporin. I'd like to talk to you today about aging, getting old. How do you get old in today's society with dignity? Aging beautifully, aging gracefully, without anxiety and stress. It's a very important topic. As a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles for the past 15 years, I've dealt with a number of different people. And the one thing that I say to people who say, I don't want to get old, I say, it's better than the alternative. You're either going to get old or you're going to die young. And I say, get old. Grow old gracefully. Grow old with dignity. It doesn't mean you can't do things along the way to fight the signs of aging. It doesn't mean you can't be your best. It doesn't mean you can't follow regimens that give you the best possible health and the best possible outcome for your life. But you have to do it with grace, with dignity, with confidence, and with knowledge. Just the other day I saw a couple in my office. A retired Superior Court judge and his beautiful wife sat in front of me, side by side on the chairs in front of my desk holding hands. And I had never met the wife, and I asked her what brought her into my office on that particular day. And she looked at me and she said, well, I think I'm finally ready for a facelift. And I nodded and I observed them holding their hands continuously. And I said, great, what makes you think you need a facelift? And she looked at me in the eye and she said, my friends told me I'm ready. She said, all my friends have had facelifts and I think I'm finally ready. Well, that wasn't the answer I wanted. And it certainly wasn't the answer that I expected. And I looked at her husband and I said, look at your wife. And he looked at her in the eyes. I said, do you love her? He said, absolutely. I said, do you think she needs a facelift? He said, absolutely not. And I turned to her and I said, look at your husband. I said, do you love him? And she said, absolutely. I said, do you think he loves you? She said, absolutely. I said, do you think he loves you as you are today? She said, I do. I said, do you really need a facelift? She said, I don't think I'm ready. I got a letter from that woman and her husband about a week later. And I can't tell you how rewarding it was to get a thank you note for somebody whom I did not perform the surgery on. Now, I'm not saying surgery is bad. Surgery can be wonderful. What I'm saying is you have to have the proper motivations to do surgery, and you need to be informed and confident, and you have to do it for the right reasons. Doing a surgery to please somebody else is not the proper motivation. I see so often in my office people who perceive themselves through the eyes of other people, or who compare themselves continuously to other people and try to obtain an image that is not obtainable. In my opinion, it's a common mistake that people think a cosmetic procedure, something that treats the outside, is also going to perform a facelift of the soul. I have a lot more to say on the subject of aging, and I hope you'll visit with me again so that we can further our discussion on how we can be the best that we can be.